Welcome, this is Super Scientist number 1, Claudius Ptolemy. We got going on up here. Who was Claudius Ptolemy? Well, obviously, as I have written here, he was an astronomer and an astrologer and a mathematician. And he was born around AD 100-ish to 170-ish, thereabouts. It's hard to know, him being so very old. It's a long time ago. And he was born, I like to say this helps classify it in my mind, 1,889 years before, that's right, you guessed it, before Taylor Swift. Naturally, a new classification system in terms of time. Okay, and also, along with being an astronomer, astrologer, mathematician, Ptolemy here was a Hellenized Egyptian. I do our little Egyptian devil here. He was actually not a devil, but Hellenized is just a term that historians use to confuse people. But all it means is Greek influence had spread at the time around the world, and he happened to be from Egypt. So there you go, Hellenized Egyptian, so kind of cool. Another fun thing I like to say is, for some reason, the P is silent. I don't know why. Maybe he had a thing with his last name. I don't know, but he's Ptolemy. So he's our boy, he's an astronomer. What did Ptolemy do? Why is he a super scientist? What was his great legendary discovery? Well, we're gonna find out. His greatest discovery, Mr. Ptolemy here, he wrote his greatest discovery in a book called the Almagest. What is the Almagest? Well, in translation, in Arabic and Greek, it means the greatest, which is kind of ironic because the book is wrong about almost everything. Kind of funny. So what is he actually wrong about here? But yet, why in being wrong is it still an important book in the history of science? Because it is. Well, he's wrong about the geocentric model of the universe. What does that mean? It means an Earth-centered universe. It means an Earth at the center, literally geocentric. So we have geo for Earth and we have centric for center. Earth-centered universe. Completely wrong. As we know, we go around the sun. We'll find that out later. But Ptolemy's model here, this is what the Almagest is all about. He was trying to set a mathematical, scientific book down with observations, with mathematics to prove this point. Now, as I said, this was completely wrong, but this actually, his theory actually stood for over 1,400 years, with little tweaks and variations here and there over the years by astronomers and scientists, which is pretty amazing in and of itself. I mean, it was a fantastic work, and he still had a mega huge big brain, and so we got to give Ptolemy a lot of credit, but he was wrong on the core of it. One of the biggest ways in which he was wrong was this thing called retrograde motion. What is retrograde motion? Well, it's kind of like this. If you put two planets, if you go like this, have their orbits going here, have an orbit here, have an orbit here, another orbit here, move a few planets like this. I might have another model for you guys as well, so it might be a little easier to follow along. Retrograde motion is just a simple fancy science term for a planet appears in the night sky to be moving backwards. So there's a problem if you put the Earth at the center. Let's say the Earth is here. If as Ptolemy had guessed that the Earth is at the center of the solar system, or universe as they thought, if you put the Earth right here, then if you put other objects out here, what happens is we see in the night sky, there's some planets, I believe most of the planets do it, but we'll use like Mars as an example. Some of the planets, when they're orbiting, they go this way, they're swinging this way, but sometimes over the course of their path around the sun, they actually appear to move back this way. And then they'll go back this way. And then it'll go back this way. And then this way. And then this way. Weird. What's going on? What the claptrap is happening, Ptolemy? I thought you were a mega genius. What is this? Well, in his Almagest, he outlines a possibility that, oh, maybe there's like crystal spheres or something out there. Maybe it's just a bunch of crystal spheres, and those planets are orbiting these crystal spheres, and I'm just going to draw a bunch of circles. And so Ptolemy literally has to draw to explain this retrograde motion. He ends up drawing and filling up his whole model of the solar system with tons and tons and tons of circles. So his model of the solar system in the Almagest, his geocentric model, is full of circles, 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 crazy, crazy circles, endless circles. And surprisingly, it kind of worked. It sort of kind of works out. But as I said, this lasted for about 1400 years or so, where astronomers and scientists were like, well, it's kind of working, but it's kind of weird. I mean, the math sort of works, but it's kind of weird, you know? Like, sometimes Mercury's over here, and it should technically be a little bit to the right, and then Mars is to the left, and you move to the right, or to the left, or whatever, and it was a little off. It was something about it was just a little off, couldn't quite square it. These little circles, by the way, for all you guys, jot some notes down there. These little circles are known as epicycles. So they are dubbed epicycles. These giant things are the orbits, and those little circles are epicycles. And that's what Ptolemy used to help explain retrograde motion, which we now know is, that's not the explanation. He was wrong about the epicycles. He was wrong about, he didn't think the Earth moved. He thought the heavenly spheres moved. And of course, he was wrong about the Earth being at the center, as we know. However, as I said, at the time, he was a mega genius. He still did a ton of math, ton of observations. The Almagest is still a great work and an important one in the history of science because it laid a foundation for scientists and astronomers to build on top of and to put their work out there, to test it, to tinker with it. Even though it took over 1,000 years until our second scientist, Mr. Copernicus, comes and fixes the problem, it's still an important work, and it's very valuable as a piece of history. And it doesn't matter because in science, things are wrong all the time. And that's one of the beauties of it. It's self-correcting. And here we have a great example laying a foundation. It appears we are at the center of the universe, and turns out we're not. We're maybe something else. Maybe it only appears that way, and that's what we found out later. It appears we're at the center of the universe. But anyway, this is all for our boy Ptolemy here. He still was a mega genius. His Almagest also has like a bunch of great star charts and had like 48 constellations in it. It's a great scientific work, a great first attempt at us trying to understand the natural world. And that is all for Mr. Ptolemy and the geocentric model of the universe. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and hit that sub sandwich button. See you next time.